Welcome everybody to our first post-production coverage for disco throws.
We're out here at George Sappenfield Disc Golf Course for our first ever disco throws tournament.
George Sappenfield is a very pretty even course, meaning the first half of the course is really open with some small trees, and the back half is pretty wooded.
Definitely a very attackable course, so I agree with you there, Jacob. I think it's going to be a lot of low scores and a competitive field.
I think so too. I'm Jacob Little.
And I'm Chase Pittman.
We got an exciting field for you guys today and a pretty cool card. So without further ado, let's get into some player profiles.
Okay, first up we have Levi Kinley from Thomasville, North Carolina. He's 944 rated with 7 PDGA wins. A very good competitor.
Next on the card is Will Buchanan. He's a fellow Moxvillian, as I am also from Moxville. He's a 937 rated player with 2 PDGA wins under his belt.
We have Aaron Westhusing from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. 937 rated, 5 PDGA wins. And he's doing a little trick for y'all.
Yeah, the Rubik's Cube solved it right behind his back. That's impressive. And rounding out the card is Tyler Palmer. Tyler's from Lexington. He just moved up to the MA1 division, but he should have been playing there a long time ago. He's 927 rated with 4 PDGA wins.
Okay, starting things off, we have hole 1, par 3, 211 feet. It's a pretty open field shot. The only real danger is the tree line on the right because it is very thick. You don't want to go too far past the basket either because there is a drop off behind it.
Yeah, and the edge of that wood line just catches, and most of the time it drops it straight down, but it can carry down in there a little ways as well. This is Levi. He's throwing sidearm here, just looking to kind of spike it in and let it slide up to the basket. He gets it wide enough and it comes down. He's well inside the circle. That should be a pretty routine birdie from Levi. Will's going to go with the backhand here. As long as he keeps this out of the woods, it should be all right.
He throws these backhands so well. He has so much control.
Oh, ace run right off the bat there from Will. It looked like it carried just a little bit long. He'll have a long putt coming back at it. Aaron also lining up the sidearm. And this needs to get down. Yeah, it got down right on the edge of the wood line there. He should have an edge of circle putt at par.
Definitely still a look at it.
Birdie, excuse me. Tyler's asking this one to get up. It's just a little bit low out of his hands. Jitters on the first hole, first throw of the day in the tournament. They're real no matter what you do to prepare.
For sure.
Absolutely. Looking just to kind of get up and down, take his par, move on. Gave it a good run, but it's got a little bit of meat left on the bone coming back.
Yeah, and this is kind of what we were talking about. It looks like Will's went a little bit long, and then that drop-off starts gets steep real fast, so it leaves for a lengthy putt coming back.
Yeah, he's just... Yeah, it's a long putt uphill. He'll have an easy par to start his tournament off. And this is Aaron from right at the edge of circle, hoping to start off with a birdie here. Yeah, drills it.
Very good birdie.
Great birdie to start off your tournament.
It's a good putt to start off with.
For sure. Oh, and Tyler just didn't hold on there. He'll have a bogey to start his tournament off. Not the way you want to start, but you can make up for it pretty quickly at this course. Levi cashing in his birdie. And we're just cleaning up here. Bogey for Tyler and a tap-in par for Will. And that brings us to hole 2, par 3, 276 feet. Pretty straight shot again. A little bit of a turn needed to keep you out of this guide wire and power pole that we just passed. You want to get something to kind of hit this gap right here and just slide up to the basket. The right side woods and the left side woods are both pretty thick, so just looking to get something to slide up in the basket there.
Looks like Levi's going with the backhand route. It requires a little bit of a turn, but you definitely can't overturn it, and you can't land low because it'll cut raw for sure.
Yeah, and it looks like that's what this one's going to do. Just a little bit of a cut roll there, but that should still be pretty easy par for Levi.
Yeah, definitely can save the par. Just kind of takes birdie out of the question.
Aaron lining up the sidearm here, just kind of looking to crash it through high on the wood line and get him inside the circle. And it gets through. He should have about 15 or so left for his birdie putt. Will's also going to go here with the backhand line.
And again, he just throws this disc so good backhand.
Full turn out of it. That one kept turning a little too much. That's going to be right inside the wood line on the right. Looking just to pitch out and take his par. This is Tyler here with the backhand. And he also turned this over just a little too much. Going to be in that right side tree line.
Yeah, again, we have Levi here. Kind of just going to have to pitch up, take his par, and move on. Not much you can do with that.
Yeah, smart play by Levi. Just taking par and moving on here. Tyler's up in the woods a little bit here. Typically there's a pretty good lane to get out, and he gave that one a pretty good run from being in there. That should be a pretty easy par for him. Will, kind of the same thing.
It's very thick over there for sure, so you're lucky if you have a look at the basket, but sometimes you definitely have it and you can save birdie.
Yeah, and he gave it a good run as well. He'll have an easy tap-in par for hole 2. This is Aaron with his birdie attempt.
And it looks like he did punch through and land right inside the circle.
Yeah, just having to straddle out a little bit to get away from that tree.
And just a little high rod on the chains.
Yeah, just kind of slapped the chains and kept going. But looks like we'll have a par frame here on hole 2. Everybody tapping in.
One of the harder birdies on the course for sure.
Yeah, it's a very precise line you got to throw. Really touchy. Can't turn it too much or not turn it enough, or you'll be in the trouble with the woods there.
You definitely have to throw the exact shot you're intending to throw. There's not much room for error.
Yep. So we'll take all pars on hole 2. And that brings us to hole 3, 231 feet. There's a Mando here forcing you to play a right-hand backhand turnover or a right-hand forehand, kind of just spike it around the trees. Try to get something in the circle for an easy birdie. These trees have grown really quickly. They're getting really thick and catching everything, just dropping them down. So you need to really swing it wide here if you're going with the forehand play. Looks like that's what Levi's going with. He gives it plenty of height.
Yeah, and that's what you'll see a lot of here. Just kind of a big spike hyzer with the forehand. And you can give it an ace run for sure. There's not a lot of danger in running this one.
Yeah, and Levi's tee shot came down well inside the circle. Looks like Aaron's lining up kind of the same shot. Also giving it plenty of height. Yeah, and that should be fine for Aaron.
You'll see Will throwing the turnover line here, and it's a big turn. It's really got to hold for a long time. It cannot fade out.
And again, you gotta give it the height so that it can get that turn like you're seeing. Just didn't
hang on long enough.
Yeah,
just got to the ground too quick.
Had the turn, it was just too wide. Didn't have the height. Tyler also going with the sidearm. Just looking to spike it in here. Yep.
And you'll see a lot of backhands in this area right here. It's really hard to get the height just right.
Yeah, and that birdie attempt just catching some leaves and dropping down for Will, so he should have a pretty easy look at par there. This is Tyler for his birdie. Just kind of leave it outside and low a little bit. Still those tournament jitters setting in, but
yeah, definitely still early in the round. Can turn it around real quick.
Oh yeah, and this is Levi for his birdie. looking to start 2 down through 3 holes.
And he does just that.
Yep, good birdie putt from Levi there. Aaron's looking to match Levi. Yep, good birdie for Aaron there. This is Will just cleaning up his par.
Yep. Just moving on to the next hole. No harm, no foul.
Tyler also cleaning up his par here. 2 birdies and 2 pars on hole 3.
Okay, we have hole 4. It's a par 3 and 231 feet. It's a pretty open shot. You just want to throw it straight right down the fairway, and you want it to fade left there at the end. There's a little ditch right before the basket that kind of keeps it safe as long as you don't shoot it over the basket. It slopes off pretty quick.
Yeah, if you get past the basket, it tends to run away from you pretty quick. You see Levi lining up the big hyzer play down the fairway, just looking to kind of crash it in right at the basket. And this looks good.
It's more of the traditional line you'll see, just a straight with a fade there at the
Yeah,
end.
and Levi absolutely parked that one. That was a great shot. Aaron kind of lining up the sidearm over the top of the trees. Just catches the top of that tree, but it kept pushing through. He should be down there, edge of circle.
Yeah, it took a little off the disc, but not much.
Will also going with the backhand hyzer here, just kind of down the fairway, looking to crash it in right at that ridge where the basket's sitting. Yeah, and that'll be fine for Will. He'll have a good look at birdie.
Looks like the same shot for Tyler as well. That's what you'll see most people doing.
Yeah, it's definitely the higher percentage shot here with those trees in the way for the forehand line. Tyler's shot going to be right there next to Will's, maybe a little bit shorter.
They're all looking at birdie putts.
Yep, and this is Aaron from just outside of the circle. So you can see him give it a jump. Just leaves it a little high there. It's kind of an uphill putt. It's easy to do. This is Tyler for his birdie. And leaves it a little bit low with a downhill putt.
Yeah, right on line though.
Also very easy to do. There's Will cashing in the birdie. Good putt by Will there, and this is Aaron just cleaning up his... Oh,
Wow. Spit it right out.
bad spit out for Aaron. Bogey on hole 4 is
There's
not ideal.
It was definitely hurt, but you just gotta clean it up and move on to the next hole.
And Levi tapped in his absolute park job on 4. Tyler also tapping in for his par. And that'll bring us to hole 5, the one and only par 4 on the course. It's 444 feet. It's a pretty tight tunnel coming out with trees growing in. The trees, you can either kind of throw a big turnover backhand and let it finish right, kind of where the camera is at now. You can even push it a little bit further and get a good look at eagle if you have the distance. But your most common play you'll see is a turnover backhand or a spike forehand, just trying to get you away from those trees so you have a good look at your upshot.
Yeah, the spike sidearm is definitely more of the placement shot to get you a relatively easy birdie. You can definitely get aggressive with the backhand turnover, but it takes a lot of distance and just a very precise shot.
Yeah, and Levi's drive, you heard Will asking him if it turned, and he said no, it just kind of sat straight down. And then Will's shot just turned to just a hair too much. He's going to be on the right side of the fairway along the wood line. This is Tyler taking the sidearm kind of spike hyzer, just looking to beat that one short tree in front of the short pad, and it looked like it kind of got caught up right in it and dropped it straight down. It's going to have a pretty tough upshot from there, but it's a par 4, so he's got some strokes to work with.
Absolutely. You can afford a little bit of an error on this hole.
Yeah, and then Aaron also throwing the spike, and that's pretty much exactly where you want to be. But this is kind of what we were talking about. Under these trees, they're short, and it's kind of a poke and hope, and either you're going to have a line and you have to hit it, or there's not going to be much of a line. And
yeah, now that it's summer, these trees have really got big and thick, so
and
you don't want to be in them.
Levi looks to have hit his line. He just carried it a little bit past the basket. And Tyler's drive did get caught up in this tree and drop it straight down. But
Oh, it fought through.
just throwing a hyzer, he said it fought through, so he should have a relatively decent look at birdie.
Will's right here on the right side tree line. He didn't go in too deep, so he'll be able to stretch out and throw a shot up there.
No.
Yeah, and you heard him saying no. He just left that a little bit short. He's going to have a long birdie putt, but still should be an easy par. Worst case scenario. This is where Aaron's drive came to. He's lining up kind of just a little touchy turnover.
A little bit riskier throwing
Yeah.
the sidearm here because it can definitely leak off into the trees like you just seen it do right there.
Yeah, and it kind of hit the limbs and just dropped it straight down, but he'll still have like a edge of circle-ish putt for his birdie. This is Will. Yeah, he just left it too short. Didn't really have a good run at birdie there, but he will have a tap-in par. Aaron's got a low ceiling here. He's going to have to get it under it, but then get it up to get to the basket. And that's easy to do, leaving it low when you have a low ceiling like that, but that'll be easy par.
I believe those limbs just got in his head the whole time.
Yeah. And then Tyler trying to connect for birdie and just hits the band.
Yeah, didn't leave it short.
Looks like we got 3 tap-in pars, and then Levi cashing the step putt birdie. It's a great putt by Levi. Great 3 to get him to 4 down through 5 holes.
Absolutely not where you want your birdie putt from, but
Yeah.
great conversion.
No pictures on the scorecard. It's a great start for Levi. Everyone else is just tapping in for par here. And that'll pretty much do it for hole 5.
Okay, we've got hole 6. It's a par 3, 279 feet. Maybe one of the weirdest holes I've ever played in disc golf. It's kind of a U-turn right off of the tee pad. You want to throw it out here in this field, and then you pretty much are throwing up there, trying to get your par. If you want to get aggressive, you can kind of run it, but you definitely want to take a 3 here. But 2 is very hard.
Yeah, it's a really risk or reward hole here, but then again, you're not losing much if you're taking a par on this hole. The 2 is very elusive.
You don't see many of them.
Yeah, and that play by Levi, just kind of throwing something out there in the field to have a long kind of floaty look at birdie is what you'll see out of most players. Will lining up the backhand and just caught some early limbs and dropped him straight down. He's going to have a tough look just coming out that gap, hoping par at best from there, I would say. Got another sidearm here from Tyler, just throwing it out into the field.
That's all you really want.
Yeah, just a easy up and down for 3 and take your par and move on. We got the super aggressive forehand roller line here from Aaron, just trying to get it right on the right angle and just cut it and let it finish as close to the basket as possible.
It's definitely got to have a lot of power to get there because that grass kind of just gobbles it up.
Yeah. Will's just trying to pitch out.
Will doing what he's got to do just to try and get out there.
Yeah, he got almost all the way out. He should be able to get up and down from there. Tyler kind of giving it a floaty bid, but not getting too aggressive there, but
Left it a little short, but that's better than pushing long back
yeah,
into the woods.
not losing anything with par here. Levi kind of doing the same thing, just taking his par and moving on.
Smart play.
And this is Will's par save after he punched through. Gives it a bid, just a little bit low.
Yeah, definitely a good run.
Yeah, and this is Aaron's birdie attempt after that roller.
Wow.
Yeah, just off the band. Great bid at birdie. But again, you're not losing anything with a par here. Will taking the unfortunate bogey after getting caught up early. And everyone else should have pretty routine par tap-ins here. I want to give a shout out to John Cooley for taking the only 2 on the day.
Very impressive, too.
Great 2 to get, gaining a stroke on the entire field there. And that will bring us to hole 7. It's a par 3, 336 feet. On this tree line on the right side, there is a creek that is right behind that tree line. You definitely don't want to get too aggressive and end up in that creek. OB. There's also some low hanging limbs, as you can see right here around the basket. So short right is a good shot. but it's going to be a tough look at birdie.
Yeah, the miss here is definitely left because that creek, it slopes down very fast and quick. So if you punch through that wood line, you're definitely inside of the creek.
Yeah, Levi throwing just a wide sidearm here. Great shot by Levi. Giving it enough width to stay away from the creek and the wood line. Also giving himself a good look at birdie. Tyler's also lining up the sidearm here. And this is just a little early. He's asking it for it to sit. And it does. It does right on the edge of the wood line. He's going to have to deal with that low ceiling that we were talking about, though.
That's a common mistake, too. Too much height on this hole definitely is a big error.
Yeah, you want to keep it low and wide, kind of like Aaron's doing here. This just needs to get down, and he'll have a edge of circle look at birdie. We got Will lining up the backhand. This is a rock. Throws it, just gets a full flex out of it here.
Absolutely beautiful line.
Was somewhat tracking at the basket. That is absolutely parked. That is a great shot by Will. Let's take a look at that with the ace trace replay. Just getting a full turn on this rock. It's a great shot for a mid-range, 336 feet.
Absolutely. He gets that nice drift to the right that everybody just likes to see. It's just such a pretty shot.
We got Tyler, yeah, just pitching up with that low ceiling.
Yeah, with those limbs kind of in the line, there's really no running you can do there.
Aaron's drive ended up right on the wood line here. Just leaves that one a little out there. Missed that opportunity with birdie, but he'll have the easy park putt coming back. This is Levi cashing in the birdie again. Puts him at 5 down through 7 holes.
Yeah, and that's a good birdie to get. Hole 7 is definitely one of the, I think it actually is the second longest hole on the course.
Yep.
So it's a good one to get.
Yep, and Will absolutely parked it, tapped in his birdie. This is Aaron coming back for his par putt. Yeah, good jam there by Aaron. And Tyler just also cleaning up his par.
And we got hole 8. It's a par 3, 288 feet. It's just across the field. There's nothing in the way until you get down here toward the basket. There's 2 guardian trees. They're very thick and they're really in the way. You don't want to be behind them, under them, around them. You want to stay clear of them because they will really ruin a birdie chance very fast.
Yeah, they're very wide and they just, there's no getting around them if you're up against them. We got Levi here just kind of throwing a slight hyzer right kind of down the middle, letting it stand up a little bit to flat, and then finishing. Yeah, that's a great shot by Levi. Right in the middle of the 2 trees down there. Should have a pretty good look at birdie. And you got Will here looking like he's lining up the backhand hyzer. Oh, swings this one a little wide. He's asking for it to come back.
Yeah, just released it a little bit late there.
Yeah.
Never really had a chance to come back into play.
Yeah, he's pin high, just about 40 yards to the right of the pin. We got the kind of alternate approach here. Tyler throwing the sidearm. Just a little early release again from Tyler, asking for it to get down. Should be a outside of circle 1 look at birdie. Aaron also going with the sidearm. Yeah, and he swings this one wide enough. And that'll be a good look at birdie for Aaron also. This is where Will's drive ended up. Pin high, just kind of way off to the right. He's got a long birdie bid here.
Wow.
Wow.
Good bid.
Great bid there by Will. Just
Kind of got to.
just a little...
You got to work with it too. That's not a completely open look. There's definitely some small limbs and stuff along the way.
Yep. Aaron dealing with these trees, trying to straddle around them.
He had all the power he could have needed, just off the target a little bit.
Yeah, he should have a pretty easy par. That stayed pretty close. Oh, huge putt there by Tyler for the birdie. Gets him back to even par. That's a great 2 there by Tyler. Aaron just cleaning up his par. And Levi with the absolute park job for birdie.
Makes the hole a lot easier for sure.
All right, we got hole 9 here, par 3, 241 feet. You're looking to just throw kind of a backhand hyzer. Keep it out of these limbs if possible, and then just kind of let it crash towards the basket. You got a good backstop behind the basket, so if there's anything short, you can give it a pretty safe run.
Yeah, definitely a good ace run here. With enough height, now that it's summer, it's getting a little bit more blocked off because of all the leaves.
Yep. Yeah, that just got a skip, slid kind of right up under the basket.
A lot of people go for the skip flare too. That's definitely a good
That'll
play.
be another easy 2 for Levi. Tyler trying to match it, asking for it to skip. Just a little bit low, didn't catch the dirt, kind of got more of the grass. And here's Will also throwing the hyzer. Just caught the limbs that we were talking about, kind of hanging down right where you want it to crash in.
Yeah, just took all the energy out of the disc really and just dropped it straight down.
Yep. And we got the first backhand from Aaron today. And that was just a little bit early. Yeah, you can see Aaron's a little bit early and just kind of came right down. He's just giving it a pretty good bid there. Just
definitely got creative with it. You really have to kind of make a line and just commit to it.
Yeah, that'll be an easy par for Aaron. Will's asking if he's outside. This would be a great 2. Yeah, good putt there by Will. Getting him to 2 down.
Like you said, with that hill, it's pretty much a safe run.
Yeah, anything long with the basket will just get caught up and it'll stay pretty close. This is Tyler. Another just a little bit off there for Tyler.
Just kind of been one of those rounds for Tyler. He's just been all over it. You just cannot get him to drop.
Yeah, still an easy par tap in, so no harm, no foul there for Tyler. And then this is Levi with another park job, getting him to 7 down through 9 holes. That's a great start for the tournament. Nice tap in par there for Aaron. And that will do it for our front 9 of round 1. We got Levi at 7, Will 2, Aaron 1, and Tyler at even.
There's still a lot of golf left. Anything can happen.
There is. Let's look at the standings for the advanced division. Levi leading the way through 9 holes at 7 down. Luke Seeley hot on his tails at 6. Steven Roosevelt 5. Then there's a little bit of a drop off. Oh no, sorry. John Cooley also at 5. And then there's a little bit of a drop off.